In this video, we're going to zip through 11 tips and tricks to help you create the zipping perfect opening to your screenplay, which grabs a reader by the lapels and hurtles them through a plate glass window, but in a good way. Tip number 1. Understand structure, but don't be a slave to it. Generally, screenplays run from 90 to 120 pages, with one page equating to 1 minute of screen time. Based on that logic, your first act will be approximately 20 to 30 pages long, with your inciting incident and your call to adventure being between 10 and 15 minutes in. Tip number 2. Don't have your characters hang around to smell the roses, get into every scene late and leave early. Cut anything that's not driving the narrative forward and progressing the story. Tip number 3, quickly give the audience somebody to boo and somebody to cheer. Establish who the antagonist and protagonist are as soon as possible, and make sure that when you do introduce them, they have a grand and memorable entrance. Tip number 4, don't be lazy and create a cliched antagonist. Remember that the antagonist would actually see themselves as a hero. And also, the stronger you make your antagonist, the stronger the hero needs to be to stop them. Point number 5, start with a hook. The characters or situation should have engaged the reader within a page or two. If you're unsure how to do it, use the USP of the characters and the world to sell the story, and open with something that dramatizes that USP. Tip number 6. The purpose of the first act is to establish the hero, the antagonist, their objectives, their motivations, their weaknesses, their flaws. You don't have to explain the whole of the world of the story at this point. You'll have the rest of the screenplay to do that. Remember, it's just the big ticky items. Leave enough doubt and questions to keep the reader reading. Number 7, show, don't tell. If your hero is a tough, grizzled cop who's going through a particularly painful divorce and is taking out his anguish on the gangsters of Harlem with a pair of pliers, then show it. Don't tell it in a conversation or through exposition with the hero and his partner in a car eating donuts. Tip number 8. Although the hero has an objective story arc, which is to save the world, get the girl, solve the case, what the viewer engages with is the subjective storyline, which is about the hero overcoming a flaw or weakness in order to be able to achieve the objective at the end of the film. Tip number 9, have a clear inciting incident. This is usually a point 10 to 15 minutes into the screenplay where the plan of the antagonist somehow pierces the world of the protagonist. It's immediately followed then by a call to action, which is a gauntlet thrown down by the antagonist which the hero needs to respond to. Tip number 10, make sure your hero refuses this call to adventure. In their mind, they might be a little hobbit who's never left the Shire, or they could be an analyst, not a field agent. But what this refusal does is plants fear in the minds of the audience or reader. And without this fear, there can be no peril. Finally, tip number 11, edit, edit, edit. Don't finish your screenplay over a weekend, bang it into an envelope and then post it to Steven Spielberg, care of Hollywood, and then just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. Take some time to write, rewrite, write again, read, rewrite, send it to friends, get them to read it, get any kind of comments that you can possibly find. Remember that writing is all about rewrites, as the saying goes. And also, as a final point, remember that you are creating the slush pile. So the more scripts you stick in an envelope and post off or email, the more that slush pile grows. So it's up to us all to get as best quality as we possibly can. Right, that's it. That's the list. That's the top 11. Would have been a top 10, but I thought of another one. If you have any comments or suggestions, please stick them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe if you want more of these videos. If you want more support, including the free worksheets that accompany these tutorials, please visit www.clickimagination.com. Thanks for watching and hope to see you again soon.